Hunting is an important part of the lives of many Americans in the country, and I'm here to tell you why you should be thankful for hunters and maybe even become one yourself. One of the most beloved presidents, avid hunters, and founder of the U.S. Forest Service, Teddy Roosevelt, once said when asked about hunting that in a civilized and cultivated country, wild animals only continue to exist at all when preserved by sportsmen. While hunting is important and fun to many people, there are some that describe hunting as inhumane and wasteful. According to debate.org, about 30% of people think that hunting should be illegal and is a form of murder. However, I strongly disagree with these assumptions and will explain just why these statements are inaccurate and hunting should be supported. First, hunting is conservation. According to the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, no one gives more to conservation programs than hunters. Did you know that the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries only receives 24% of their revenue from a federal grant? That means that none of your taxpayer dollars contribute to the department's budget. So how are conservation police paid, watchable wildlife, and educational programs funded, and fishing and recreational boating managed? The answer is hunters themselves. Revenue from the purchase of hunting and fishing licenses, the high tax on guns and ammo, and various other permits all go to the Game and Inland Fisheries Department for their budget to do all of the above and much more. According to Virginia.gov, the fiscal year budget for Game and Inland Fisheries, these revenues are about $60 million in Virginia alone. And according to the American Hunter, each year sportsmen contribute $7.5 million per day. These monies will allow for millions of acres of habitat preservation and improvement. Hunting is also beneficial for our economy. According to the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, hunting creates over 700,000 jobs nationwide and has created household incomes totaling $400 billion, which is equivalent to about 25% of the entire military payroll in the U.S. Recent studies have also shown that yearly spending by the 14 million hunters in America exceeds $22 billion. This means that hunters are generating about $12 billion in tax revenue each year. This alone illustrates how beneficial hunting can be and how important it is to ensure that the number of hunters in the U.S. is maintained and hopefully increased. Another reason to consider hunting is that it is good for the species. Because habitat loss has eroded the natural range of animals and agriculture has increased the supply of food, game populations are growing rapidly and must be managed. If white-tailed deer, for example, are not hunted, they will die of starvation or disease. It is vital to understand that hunting becomes more important every year that land use is increased by humans. According to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, while some disagree that hunting female deer, it is vital to maintain a healthy number of female species so that reproduction can be managed effectively. Additionally, hunting in suburban areas should be encouraged more. Studies show that in suburban areas, deer are far more overpopulated and therefore many more people crash in vehicles than they do in rural areas where the deer population is much more healthy and those deer are hunted. PETA, a popular organization that advocates for the ethical treatment of animals, argues that hunters kill, and I quote, whatever they think will look nice mounted on the wall without regarding population control or the food chain. However, there are strict rules that hunters must follow each season, and they're not permitted to kill anything that they would like. In fact, hunters must check their game into a state system, and if they fail to do this, there are massive consequences. Finally, hunting is beneficial to one's health. Although many hunts end with no kill, hunters still feel energized and fulfilled at the end of the day. In a study about the health benefits of hunting conducted at Michigan State University, it is said that no other sport provides both nutritional and physical benefits. Additionally, according to the National Sports Shooting Foundation, hunting with a gun is one of the safest sports and has a lower injury rate than tackle football, volleyball, and even golf. Now, you may wonder what physical benefit hunting may have, but just imagine this with me. A typical hunter would usually climb a mile or so up a mountain carrying fairly heavy equipment and then climb about 15 feet up a tree. Even after a kill, it's vigorous work getting the game out of the woods, cleaning it, and so on. Another point that the Michigan State study observed was that spending time in nature alone could be very therapeutic for people. From a nutritional standpoint, hunting can also be of great benefit. Venison is a meat that is very lean in protein. Along with being low in fat content, it is much healthier than buying meat that has underwent man-made intervention and did not live a natural and wild life. These are just some of the reasons I would think that hunting should be more popular and scrutinized less. There's not enough attention being brought to how favorable hunting can be, and I challenge you to give it a chance. Most of you may be thinking that you have to be a redneck or barbaric to go out and hunt for your own food, but you may find it very rewarding to be able to contribute to your own health, your environment, our economy, and be able to provide for yourself instead of sticking to the status quo.